tube. Just want to show you what I've been picking up lately. My shop has a point redemption system where you spend X amount of money and you get so many points, and accumulate enough points to want to go and just find stuff, well, basically for free. This was on the shelf. Wanted to grab it, Rachel Rising 4, and pick up the rest of them. I know one can be quite expensive now. Marvel Fanfare 4 in awesome condition. Cool Paul Smith cover, wraparound. Kazar, X-Men, and there is a Michael Golden art here, and what the hell else? Oh, Deathlock's in this. But these old fanfares are cool. I picked up number 0 of this book in a flea market once, and it was the first time I was exposed to Alex Ross, and this guy kills it. Turned me on. I like Alex Ross. Turned me on to his art, I should say. And it's cool acetate, clear cover. First appearance of Phil Sheldon, photojournalist who discovers all these quote-unquote marbles who inhabit the earth, and of course they are the Human Torch, Avengers, X-Men, etc. So I'm looking forward to finding the rest of these. This is book 1. This was still on the shelf. Morning Glories number 1, 4th print. And I guess because of circulation, this, interested in value, speculation, whatever, etc. Guide's about the same as the 2nd print. So cool to find, and I'm looking forward to getting all these individual issues. Picked this up just because it looked 50th anniversary issue. Shaken did Putty from Seinfeld as Superman there in that painted cover. I mean, that's all. I mean, that's your 50th anniversary. That's the best effort you got. Sorry. I mean, were there more than 2 sets of eyes in this? That's unacceptable. If I'm a Superman fan, and I'm not even like, I don't know. But there are a lot of other contributors, and there's a lot of really shitty pinups in here. But there's 2 really good stories worth getting this book for. It's the Williamson and Steranko stories. The artwork is phenomenal. So you can pick that up cheap. Finally got my Guardians 1 swipe cover. I like these Secret Origin books. Dr. Fate was cool. I like Black Canary. She's compelling just because of the way the creators ended her story of a Golden Age character. Marvel Team Up 40. Sons of the Tiger, whose first appearance was in Deadly Hands of Kung Fu number 1. So they make an appearance. So that's kind of a odd team up. But it also, what makes this story cool, Human Torch as well, is the Crime Master and Big Man 2 are in it. And this is Crime Master's last appearance. And the death of Big Man 2. Who is the daughter of Big Man 1. And I saw this is on the shelf since I've been shopping at this place. And it's the Mighty Thor number 1. I guess it's a variant. It's a Walt Simonson cover. And it was listed for $20. But in my case, it was free. And that's probably why it sat in the shelf for so long. Because no one was willing to fork over $20 for this. But this artwork is from '83. But I love it. It's like a modern day, even though it's from '83. It looks like, according to the date. But the Japanese mural type of wind representation, just a badass, and it's almost a picture frame. Almost it is. That spills out into the foreground. So I had to get this. I mean, I admit it. I'll buy books just for the cover love. I ain't too proud. 174 Daredevil. Thanks to Doc and Howlett, you showed this off as a first appearance of the Hand, and most notably Kirigi, the head ninja. You can pick this thing up cheap. There was a Purple Hawk 151. Now, in terms of picture frame covers, this one's one of my favorites just because of the elements. I hate to sound like an art critic. I'm not. I just know that it appeals to my aesthetics. except for the fact that Trimpe or John Severson drew the Hulk looking like Charles Bronson. And I could do without the word balloons. A lot of people like word balloons. I don't. The cover would be so much more dramatic if it didn't have anything. But, obviously that's what, the publishers weren't thinking in terms of what I wanted aesthetically. Assholes. All right. All-Star Comics 58, excuse me. Now this is the first reboot of this particular title. It started in 40 something, and ended in issue 57 and became All-Star Western. So they rebooted it in the 76, I believe. I don't know, I don't have the indica memorized, but anyway, most notably it is the first appearance of Super Squad and Power Girl there, who's just Earth 2's representation of Supergirl, except a lot hotter. Alright, Detective Comics 412. Nice pickup. And I have some books that are coming where I want to go over what how I view what DC were doing with their covers, indigestion during this time period. Definitely dig the covers from this time period from DC, and if you read the story, you'll realize that this Neil Adams cover is really what this book's all about. Now on to what I paid for. There's still books on consignment there that are sitting in short boxes on the floor that no one pays attention to, and I always do. And they're between $2 and $5. These are all $2 books. This is a time period when I was really collecting hard back in the early mid 80s, and I remember this is a time period when I was driving my bike up to Highs and pulling issues off racks. So yeah, I remember these stories and these books, and they're all in really good shape. 254. Had to get this again. 253. Vision Quasimodo inside the software. This is becoming kind of a classic cover. 251. 243. Seriously, I mean $2. I mean it's not like they're worth a tremendous amount, but very fine plus. Can't beat it. Domestic violence issue there. 213. 209. 203. All Infantino of the Carmine variety there, and 186. This one's a little shittier, like a 6, but that's what else you're getting. It's well worth it. I'll try to move this crap around here. So that's the Avengers that were there, and there was also another box that started off with Fantastic Four, and I just started digging in, and I realized there's just a huge chunk of this burn run, and they were all just fantastic, and these were all $2 a piece. 255, 254, the Mantracora, 253. Love that cover, Nihilist story. Okay, and I was happy to see this. 252. It's a cityscape. So I'm gonna try to get this. And has the lakeside tattoos, just like Spider-Man 238. A lot of times what people will do, they'll take the tattoos out of this book and insert it into the 238 book, the Hobgoblin issue. Yeah, here's another one, 251, Negative Zone. $249. $247. Doom appearance. He goes back to Latveria and claims his land. And yeah, 246. Death of the Puppet Master in here. 245. Franklin Richards gets off. Yeah, this is 244. Love this cover. Galactus almost dies. Frankie Ray saves him, becomes Nova and the Herald. Obtains the power cosmic. Let's see. 241. Black Panther. 239. First appearance of Petunia Grimm. 237. First appearance of Spinneret. 236. The anniversary. Cool cover, huh? Stand-A-Man. 235. Ego appearance. There he is. Actually land on him and he gets pissed. And 232. Always love that cover. If I can get it to focus. So yeah, it's a good pickups at the shop. For cheap. I mean, the hell, why not? Let's see what else we got going on here. How about some Tales of Astonish? 89. Solid mid-grade. Gotta have a haul. For me, it's gotta have some Tales to Astonish in it. And let's see, did you get another one? Yeah. 82, another solid find. And this one's a good one to pick up just because it's the first crossover of Iron Man outside of Avengers and Tales of Suspense. And how about a Puppet Master? 78. That's been pretty shit condition. My goal is to try to get a good run of this and then get investment grade issues. Let me just put this here. I can't. Shit, I'm not stretchy like that. Take it easy, pal. Just comic books. And then 66. First and only appearance of Madame Macabre. It's actually a cool character. Was a protege of Mandarin. So. And she has a robotic wig that allows her to transform inanimate objects, either bigger or smaller. So she propositions Giant Man to, kind of rule the world thing. Go. And then Awesome did go. But these are so great. That's a good one to pick up. I'm surprised they didn't develop her more, because she was a cool character, good read. All right, something else I wanted to show you guys are these two issues of FOOM, Friends of Old Marvel. Now these two were behind the glass at my shop and gave it to me for $10 a piece, and they are not mint, but what the heck. There's a 250 in pencil, and there's a little bit of discoloration, but these are awesome. These are great pieces of history to own, Marvel history. Look at this Perez cover. How awesome is that? Marvel feature number 2. But they're great because, and one of the reasons I like these, it doesn't have an address stamp in terms of condition-wise. But it just gives a background of what the creators were thinking when they developed the Defenders, interviews, I have to see it's hard to do. It's too hard to do with a phone to do this. But anyway, there's also unused art and just great background to the whole series. And this is this issue of FOOM has a first kind of a more of a cardboard stock cover. Now, FOOM number 8. This is a cap issue with an awesome Bermuda cover. Esposito, and then the back has John Byrne. Again, address stamp missing. Discoloration on the top, I don't care, $10. They go for a little bit more than that online. But this has a cool history of capping on the movies. There's a Falcon ad. That's male, but there's an article of Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. But this has more of a newspaper stock kind of feel to it, but great to have. Really interesting stuff inside, so if you find these things, pick them up. I also went on eBay and picked up a lot for the first time. I don't usually get lots, I usually pick up individual books, and I rolled the dice and picked up some Spideys. Here's 197, and the it's got to be cocaine. Anyway, the seller advertised fine to very fine, and this isn't even close. It's hard to tell through the phone, but this is not. None of them. Only one was very fine. So here's 192. I got 8 books. He gave me half the money back, so these were $1.30 a piece. So I'm happy at $1.30 a piece, but not for what I originally paid. So live and learn. Be careful with lots. 192, Death of Spencer Smythe. 188. Kind of a 28 swipe. 187 with Electro. Starlin on this one. 186. $184. You can see how dirty that is. Not cutting it. First appearance of White Dragon there. Really goofy costume. Speaking of goofy costume, 183. Rocket Racer. And I was really disappointed. I wanted this to be in the highest grade. That's one of the reasons I bought the lot, just for this book, just because I love that Gil King cover. 181. But you live and you learn. I got some of my money back, and you know, even in mid-grade, $1.30 a piece, that's not too bad. Hey, this is my new pickup as well. Selection of the Innocent by Mr. Funtime Frederick Worthman. A psychiatrist, and this came out in 1954, and this is the famous manifesto against comic books and the effect they have on the nation's youths, and which helped cause a Senate subcommittee hearing on the issue. I thought I'd be able to pick this up because I was seeing books online that, you know, were seduction books that were, you know, used in the book as evidence. And I just kind of became really curious about it and wanted to pick a few up, and kind of created another collecting goal, along with, you know, picking up my birthday books and all the other ones I've been getting into lately. But anyway, this one came out, and I tried to find, a month ago I tried to get this book, and I couldn't find any copies that weren't extremely expensive. And then I went on last week and I found this copy. It was brand new. There was 3 of them on Amazon for $40. So you can spend upwards. This one came out in 2004, limited to 220 copies. But anyway, I wanted to see what it was all about, what he had to say. And as it turns out, He had a hypothesis, and in the course of trying to prove it in this book, he pretty much completely mangled this scientific method. A lot of his results are anecdotal. His sample size of the children he interviewed was extremely small, limited to New York, and these were primarily kids that or children that came to him at his house, not his house, his facility, I guess Le Grande house. I forget. I haven't really read it yet, but most of the children he interviewed already had previous problems, regardless of whether they read comic books or not. So a lot of his results and conclusions were stretches, but he had an axe to grind, obviously. And here are some examples of different images from the individual books he chose, all from the Golden Age. And there's an example of headlights. Can't have kids looking at boobies. Women of questionable moral character. Outside the forbidden pages of Desaad, you will find a draining of girls' blood only in children's comics. So he might have had a point, a lot of the EC stuff like there. I mean, you probably wouldn't want your children exposed to, but he completely didn't trust the parental unit or the primary family unit to police itself. He had to let America know that, I know what's best for children, and comic books should not be introduced into their learning curve in life. And excuse me if I'm rambling, I can do that. But each one of these panels represents a different book, and they're extremely collectible and desirable. A lot of them are out of my price range, especially this one. This is like the coup d'etat in terms of this book, Reformed Schoolgirl. Extremely expensive in all grades. But I did find one I bought, and I wanted to read the book through the comic books, collect the book, then find out where it's referenced in this bunch of jive, and figure out what he had to say about it. So let's just cut to the chase. I did find a book that was referenced in page 309. So let's go to page 309. And in it, in this particular part of the book, he is focusing on animal books and what he calls good comic books that were for younger children, not the ECs. Previously in the book, I guess he had been going over all the EC, the decapitation, the gouging of the eyes, the hanging, the murder, the rape, etc., the bondage, and now he's reaching into the books, published for even younger kids. And in this particular book, it's talking about race bias. Specifically, race ridicule is played upon the good animal comic book Bugs Bunny. Colored people. Well, I guess in 1954, colored people was a parlance of the times, but still, for someone of his caliber and range of knowledge, today that's not acceptable. Colored people are described as superstitious natives, and you see them running away. The injury to the eye motif that you see in a lot of the ECs, etc., is added. Bugs Bunny being shown throwing little diamonds in the eyes of colored people. They are big enough to blind a feller. And is this not the same crime comic book ingredient adapted to the youngest set? So, here we go. This is a book, Dell 4-color, 1949. Bugs Bunny in Diamond Days. So Bugs Bunny is about to go into the Filthy Rich Diamond Mine, catty corner to the Phil McCracken Big and Tall score. store. So there he finds a bunch of diamonds. Wow, it's big enough to blind a feller. And the edges are sharp enough to take care of a whole bunch of fellers. And of course, the headhunter's village. You can see the caricature of headhunters. Stereotypical. In previous pages, there are bones in the nose, and there's the Alk I can't see. So, according to Worthman, images and panels such as these help reinforce a negative racial bias. If we go back to the book, very young children. He calls on another psychiatrist here. Later antagonistic reactions to those who are different as a result of parental or group indoctrination. So this guy's saying it's the parental group or peer groups that cause racial bias. And then he makes the stretch here. Has there ever been a greater and earlier and more insidious indoctrination with race hatred than American children are exposed to in comic books? Good, Bugs Bunny, or bad, EC. So he's saying comic books, more than the family unit or peer groups, are more influential in determining race bias. And right then and there, you can just close this and realize he's a charlatan douchebag. But the more troubling aspect of this is that it caused a Senate subcommittee hearing. So, which is even a blacker mark in terms of how our government reacted to this kind of stuff, as if a modern day equivalent would be, Rush Limbaugh or somebody with really outside of the box in one way or the other. Chris Matthews, for example, got a Senate subcommittee hearing on their whacked out views. But in this day and age, it happened. And of course, McCarthyism, Senator McCarthy, his Red Scare was the most widely recognized at this type of witch hunting. But it did cause the Commons Code Authority to be developed, and fascinating subject to me. And as it relates to the hobby, I would like to delve more into and figure out what made this guy tick. So anyway, just wanted to show that. All right, thanks for watching, and have a great week.